Hey, welcome back to Biz Talk TV. I'm your business host and guide, Michael Rager, here on Now Media Television Networks. And now we've got him, first time here, best-selling author, Ethan King. Ethan, how are you today?
Fantastic, Michael. Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Man, thanks for coming on, man. You got some really important things going on, but I think today we really want to concentrate on your book. Tell us a little bit about the book. We can see it over there to your, it would be your right. We see it there, The Wealth Beyond Money. Tell us a little bit about, the book itself and why did you write it?
Well, look, we're all chasing something, right? And I've been an entrepreneur full time for about 21 years now. And I'm involved with a lot of entrepreneur groups and peer groups. And I've seen a lot of people go down the road of depression because they're chasing revenue growth and chasing purely money and ignoring the other dimensions of their lives. And in the book, I talk about what I call the 6 dimensions of success: spirituality, intellect, money, your physical presence, your love and relationships, and entertainment, and how it's important for us to calibrate across those 6 areas. And don't get me wrong, money is super important. It's very, very important. And a good chunk of the book teaches you how to get more money and more profitability in your business, but not at the detriment of the other areas of your life.
So I saw one of the things you had a companion journal. How does a journal, if I'm reading the book, how does that journal help me get even more out of the book?
Yeah, it actually, the journal is it's a 30-day journal, and it actually gives you the step-by-step process. So you start off each day with a snapshot of where you are in those 6 dimensions. So, and it's no judgment about yourself, because a lot of times we can beat ourselves up if we feel like we're lacking in a certain area, but it's just an impartial snapshot of how you're feeling on a scale of 1 to 10 in your areas of your spirituality, your intellect, your money, your physical presence, your love and relationships, and your entertainment that day. And then the book gives you practical ways to improve each one of those areas.
Well, I think it's important, though, is we've got to be honest with ourselves as where we're starting the day on any journey we're going, because, I'm a business coach. That's what I do. And so in order for me to take somebody from here to there, we got to know where here is. And if we're lying about it and we're not honest with ourselves, we can't really get there, can we?
Right, exactly. Just like when you go to the doctor, the first thing the doctor needs to know, what are your symptoms? And they're going to examine you. You got to know where you're starting, and you got to be brutally honest. Otherwise, you're not going to help yourself. You're not going to improve. So take that snapshot and just be brutally honest with yourself so that you can get better. And the key is to to be aware of the calibration across those 6 areas. If you think about it like the metaphor of an airplane, when you're on an airplane, the airplane's on autopilot like 90% of the time. Pilot really only has to kick in at takeoff and landing for the most part. And if you look out at the wings of that airplane, they're not just rigid. There are dozens of flaps, maybe hundreds of little tiny flaps that are constantly micro adjusting to get you to your destination safely. So instead of the traditional notions of life balance, or the other notions where you hear people say, oh, only focus on one thing until you're successful and ignore everything else. Well, I present a third notion, which is micro adjusting constant contextual calibration based on what's going on in your life across those 6 areas, so that in a way you can have it all and not have to really sacrifice anything with the traditional notions of life balance.
Well, it's interesting. I've been talking a lot about consistency and persistency. And you being an entrepreneur for 20 years, you've got to be consistent in what you do, but you also got to be persistent. How are those 2 words, how have they helped you get to from where you started to where you are now?
With consistency and persistence, those 2, you have to have both of them, right? And with an entrepreneurial journey of over 20 years, things are going to change. You're going to pivot. I mean, we're totally different from where we were when we first started, and never really thought that we'd be here, but we've had to adapt. Been through 2 recessions, been through COVID. So things you constantly have to adapt, but you have to have that consistent grind, that showing up every day. Consistency is what builds trust. Familiarity, your customers knowing that you're reliable. When it comes to our core values in our business, our first core value is promises. And it's all about reliability, that we show up each day like the sun rises each day. We can depend on the sun rising each day. Even if it's cloudy outside, the sun's still there. So one of our main core value is to be that dependable for our customer so that no matter how our business may pivot, that consistency, that reliability is still there. And that is a big part of our brand promise and why people choose to do business with us over competitors. Now, when it
No.
comes to the persistence part of it, a lot of that is like sales. That's probably the main part, the main essence of when it comes to sales is showing up over and over and over again, and just being there, having that mind share, because your customer may not need it or your prospect may not need your services at that time, but it may be a year from now where, oh, I need that thing, and now you're the first person that comes to mind for whatever it is you offer because you've consistently shown up and you've been persistent. So when the timing's right, you're there and you get the sale.
Yeah, it's one of the things I teach my clients is, it's the 12th time, the 12th touch is about when the buying process really starts. And 99% of the people that are searching for you on the internet, everything the internet's like so instantaneous. 99% of the people when they're looking for you, the internet have no intention of buying anything from you right now.
Right.
And you got to stay top of mind. So, you're an entrepreneur, you're a speaker, you're a writer. How do you keep it all focused to get to what you want to be?
Yeah, a lot of times it can feel like I'm riding a unicycle and juggling fire at the same time. But the key is having good systems and having a great team in place, people and processes. I mean, I'm sure you teach your clients that, and we've heard it over and over again. And it hasn't been easy. It's not like it's happened overnight for me. It's a gradual thing that we've built up over the years in business. But one thing I would say to give your audience is I look at every process, because when we're small business owners, we take it all on our plate, right? We do everything in the business. So the first thing is to look at all of your processes that you do throughout the day. Take a log, take a time log, and be honest about how you're spending each 15-minute increment of the day. And then you take one of those processes and you decide, and you go through a process I call eating it, EAT. You're either going to eliminate it, because a lot of the things we do in our businesses, if we're brutally honest with ourselves, we don't. Our business would be fine without it. We're doing it because we think that we need to do it, or we should do it, or somebody else is doing it. So first, can I eliminate it? Second, can I automate it? There's so many tools out there, especially now with the proliferation of AI and ChatGPT and all these automation tools. And then the third step is, if you can't eliminate it or automate it, can you train someone else to do it? And the reason I say train instead of delegate is because a lot of times we fall into the trap of delegating something to someone without properly training them. So the first mindset should be, how can I document this process in a step-by-step way so that I can train someone else to do it?
I think you were in my coaching session the other day. It's one of the most important things I see is, that, but when you do that, when you put together that EAT system, that allows you to be consistent and it allows you to be persistent, because that's exactly where you are and that's exactly why you are. So you're a busy guy, man. How do people get a hold of you? How do they find you? And how do they get you to speak? How do they buy your book? How do they do everything? How do they get the whole Ethan package?
Yeah, the easiest way to get in touch with me is to go to my website. It's just my name, ethanking.com. There you'll find my links to the book, you'll find me on all of the social media channels. Follow me, connect with me, whatever your channel is best for you. If you'd like to have me come out and speak, there's a link on my website to have me come out and speak. My current talk is really impactful. It's about AI in combination with digital marketing and storytelling, and how I've been able to have a presence on every social media channel every single day on 5 different brands, and I have one VA doing that. And it only takes about 15 minutes of my personal time every day when you put this system in place.
Well, man, that's awesome. That's awesome. I love what you're doing. You're bringing some great value to everybody. Hope to have you back so we can talk about Simple, and we can talk about some of your other businesses. You really are an entrepreneur. You're doing a lot of great things, and hope to get to know you a lot better. So thanks for coming on today.
All right, thanks for having me, Michael. Look forward to talking to you again soon.
All right, I'm Michael Rager, your business guide here on BizTalk TV. We're going to be back with more right after this.